The Morning Skate, episode 286. Your host, Ketters. I am joined by my co-host, Brownie. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day to be alive. Brownie, what's going on, buddy?
I'm gonna turn up your volume. Good, all good here. I was telling you before no, it's all right. I was telling you before we got started this new banner right here.
Yeah.
Because I have a blog coming out either later tonight or tomorrow. The Bruins fan guide to bandwagon jumping, I think is what I titled it. Between the four finalists. So I wanted to put up my bona fides here. I found this while cleaning out the basement. I forgot about it because the old man cave is now my daughter's bedroom. So all that shit got packed away. But 6-time Stanley Cup champion banner. Thought I'd hang that up for the pod.
I love that, dude.
And then this is the last thing because we talked about this last week. I had a new dome, new lid.
What does it say there? Oh my god, that's cool lid.
Look at that,
cool lid. Shout out to Jerome McGinley again.
So yeah, shout out to Jerome McGinley again. So this hat came out of the box my size. I didn't have to adjust it, which I feel is a sign because I got a pretty big dome. And if you look at Jerome McGinley, he's got a pretty big dome too. So
yeah,
maybe.
All right, that's fair. You can't
size it.
I got the Gretzky Messier fucking poster hanging up. It looks.
You got to put it
good
so you can see it on the.
I know, but I'm looking at it, and it makes me feel good.
Well, just so you know, when you look into the camera, you can see what's behind you also.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I got that bad boy going. So
that's nice. You could put that where that white jersey is behind you.
I could, but I don't. I feel like I'm gonna fuck it up if I do that. See, I already kind of.
Fair.
Oh, that's not gonna work. I'll have to figure that out at some other point. But yeah. So what's going on, man? Anything new?
Nothing, man. Nothing. Just work and down to the Final Four. It almost. I mean, in a way, it's like there's no fucking hockey tonight. What am I gonna do, right?
Sure.
But another way, I'm like, I can get caught up on some stuff tonight.
Yeah, exactly. No, I feel the exact same way. And last night they had the Game 7 Kraken Dallas. I don't know if you got to watch it. That was a really.
I had a game that started at 8:00, same time as the puck drop, so I recorded it.
Yeah.
I got home at 10:30 and I watched the entire game.
It was really good.
Yeah,
it was really good.
And listen, Fink, if you're out there listening and you didn't watch, you're a fucking loser.
He didn't watch. He was on the bench. It's just classic. I mean, that's just Nils Lundqvist type attitude towards everything. Like,
me and Hal talked about not going to like game. Remember, we didn't go to our hockey games for game 1 of the first round.
Game 7's crazy to me.
Second round, game 7, you're not going to watch? Oh, I'm going to watch it on the bench. Shut up.
Yeah, it's not the same. But...
And Fink, you're my boy, and I love you, but.
A little weird, Brownie. But let's just kind of hop into stuff. We're going to get her going. Mea Culpa.
Hi, this is Mea Culpa, and I'm here to introduce the Morning Skates Mea Culpas with Kat and Brownie.
Oh, we got to reach out to Mia about the Kraken being out. Be like, sorry for your loss.
Yeah, I'm sure she's tuning in right now. Hi, Mia.
So first off, I don't know if you saw this. Basically, Alberta's on fire. Like huge fires. So prayers for our friends up in Alberta. Over 30,000 people have been forced from their homes due to these wildfires that are burning out of control. Damn. And I saw a statement from some fire official who said that the worst is yet to come.
That's not good.
Not good. And apparently that's where obviously the Oilers, right? That's where a lot of Canada's oil comes from. And I mean, Jenkins could probably speak to this or Kenton better than me, but something like they're shut down like 50,000 barrels a day or something is not going into the pool, I guess. I don't know.
Not good.
There you go. Not good. We talked about the MTV Movie Awards last week.
Yeah.
They've been going on for 30 fucking years. Since 1992. And this year's host was Drew Barrymore.
My dad loved Drew Barrymore. I was never that big into her, but
old Drew Barrymore, absolutely. Current Drew Barrymore, thanks, but good. And then this one, I forgot to mention this. This was one of the funniest things early in the round. Did you see in the Seattle game when Carson Soucy scored for Seattle? Soucy, I think is how you say it. He did hit down the Kraken bench, and then he went down the Dallas bench.
No, I didn't see that.
Great, absolutely great.
It's Soucy.
Soucy, that's it. Yeah,
Carson Soucy. So we did pretty good for Mea Culpas. None of those were even from us. Yeah, that was
no, just catch up stuff. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
all right, let's hop into it, dude. NHL in the news, bang.
Dude, those videos get me every time.
What a power stop. All right, Carolina, after eliminating New Jersey Devils in Game 5, the Hurricanes social media team took a spin through Cameo and got a Real Housewife, a Cake Boss, some guys from The Sopranos, and the Situation from Jersey Shore to congratulate the Canes on moving forward. This was an all-time.
And they got the fireman Ed dude also.
Yeah, it's just really genius, honestly.
Smart.
Yeah, very, very.
And
very
the best part, now this is something that I heard on another podcast, but it made me think of it. So that took some thought. Because you can't just call up anybody. It has to be someone who's so oblivious to what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wonder how many cameos got shot down when they were like, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean?
No,
so,
that was
well done. There's been a lot of social media stuff this playoffs, and I think it's good.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Normally I hate it, but that one I actually enjoyed. Sticking with Carolina, Jordan Martinook turned it on in round 2 after being held off the score sheet in round 1 versus the Islanders. He put up a stat line of 3 goals, 7 assists for 10 points with 4 penalty minutes and 14 hits and only got 5 games played versus the New Jersey Devils. It'd be nice if a Ranger superstar could put out together that fucking timeline. Holy fuck. 3 goals, 7 assists, 10 points. Mika Zibanejad doesn't even sniff that. Actually, I'm so glad that I brought that up because I saw this. Elliot Friedman came out with this quote. I got to read this to you because it makes so much sense. And I get chirped about it all the time because I'm an old time hockey guy or whatever. But he said, I know a lot of people don't like hearing this. Choir boys do not win the Stanley Cup. You can be a really nice and decent person off the ice, but in the playoffs, you have to be a team full of pricks. The Rangers have
Elliot said that?
Elliot Friedman, yeah.
100%.
So, nice to see somebody recognize that. Fucking Zibanejad and Kreider are too busy making out. Oh, my God. Toronto has made 1 conference final since 2000. It was incorporated in 1917, while Vegas has made 4 in their 6 years of existence. Sexton Cronin on the side. And he's like, dude, they don't deserve this. He brought this up specifically.
So he's doing the Hal thing?
Yeah. Everybody I talk to does the Hal thing.
I agree with Hal to a degree and Cronin, right? But the way Vegas entered this, how they bullied everybody in the draft, how they maneuvered everything, and the way they play, I don't have a single problem with it. And
Hal's takes are so hot right now.
I don't think there's very few guys on the Golden Knights that I dislike.
I have to think about it. I really have to think about it. But
you can easily think of all the guys you do like.
I think I'd have to think about that too.
Oh, I like a lot of those play. I don't like Marchessault, even though he's playing great. I'm not a fan of his and the way
I'm not either, but if he was on my team, I think I'd like him a lot.
But Mark Stone, Jack Eichel.
I hate Jack Eichel. I hate Jack Eichel. I hate players that ask out of Buffalo because it's too hard. I fucking can't stand it.
Guy didn't sniff the playoffs his entire career after being picked number 2.
Be better.
All right, go ahead.
More on Toronto, just to update everyone. 20,469 days, nice, since a cup. 7,673 days since winning a second-round series. 1,181 days since losing to an AHL Zamboni driver. And 4 days since being eliminated by the 17th place Florida Panthers. That's per Leafs Last Cup on Twitter.
That's a great follow. Leafs Last Cup. They just do shit like this constantly.
That's a great follow. Classic.
Great one.
Florida having a moment. The Heat and Panthers both reached the conference finals in their respective leagues on the same night. Over the last 40 years, there have been 16 instances of NBA and NHL teams from the same metro area reaching the conference finals in the same season, but this was the first time it was clinched on the same day. That's one of those weird days in sports things. I know that we don't like mentioning other podcasts, but did you get a chance to listen to Chicklets today?
Who was the guest?
Charles Barkley.
I did because it was Charles Barkley.
I did too.
I know you're going to get mad at me for saying this, but my issue with Chicklets is the amount of advertisements and the amount of time I hear Mike Grinelli's voice.
No, I get that, but I thought Charles Barkley was fucking awesome.
He was great. Absolutely great.
He was so fucking cool in that. And again,
he's really a fan too. Really a fan. You could tell the way he was talking about playing.
It was cool with him talking about his career, but neither here nor there. But cool. Good on Florida. New Jersey Devils center Eric Haula became the first player in Stanley Cup playoff history to be eliminated by the same opponent in 3 consecutive postseasons while playing for 3 different teams. Nashville in 2021, Boston in 2022, New Jersey in 2023, all lost to Carolina.
They were saying he's a free agent. He should just sign with Carolina. They'll win the
cup. Fucking avoid that, right? This was nuts. Edmonton, Vancouver, Game 4 chaos. Pietrangelo was suspended for Game 5 versus Edmonton for a slash on Leon Draisaitl. Not to be outdone in the same game, Darnell Nurse was suspended for Game 5, automatic for instigating a fight with less than 5 minutes playing regulation when he went at Nick Hague. Edmonton head coach Jay Woodcroft was also fined $10,000. This was the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life. George Parros, you are a fucking bum. An absolute.
Wait, which part was dumb?
The fact that Pietrangelo and Darnell Nurse were suspended for the same amount of games during that shit. I understand.
Okay,
I understand
okay.
the instigator, whatever. It's a rule book. There's been times in the past where that happens, and they kind of look at it and they're like, "Okay, don't worry about it."
Yep.
Pietrangelo went to fucking chop his arm off. Like,
did you see Draisaitl rip his hand away in the handshake line?
Yep, I saw that. And then throughout the course of the game, there were a lot of like fake slashes going at him.
But
it was fucking.
In Pietrangelo's defense, when they did those fake slashes, he was like, remember that guy who did the Kobe Bryant? He did the ball
didn't
game?
flinch. Yeah,
Pietrangelo did not flinch. I love Pietrangelo's game. I mean, that was a little over the line, but
that's okay. So I fucking hate him for this just because I don't have any skin in the game. But if he was a Ranger and he did this, I'd be like, fucking right, dude. Like, that's the best player. Get him. Yeah. Exactly, 100%. He was doing what he had to do. But the fact that was the same amount of games.
But that's not on
lunacy.
That's not on Pietrangelo. That's not on Vegas. That's not on Edmonton. That's 100% George Parros.
On the fucking scumbag piece of shit, George Parros. I can say that louder. Scumbag piece of shit, George Parros. What a fucking loser that guy is. And I don't even like either of these teams. Dude, if that happened against the Rangers, I would go lock myself in his office as like a strike. What a fucking mutant idiot. More on Vegas. When Zach Whitecloud notched a goal in last Monday's game 3, ESPN anchor John Anderson made a comment about Whitecloud's last name. Zach Whitecloud. What kind of name is Whitecloud? Great name if you're toilet paper. He's a first indigenous player from the Sioux Valley Dakota Nation to play in the NHL. Anderson issued an apology the next day and has reached out to Whitecloud.
This is why
the
NHL and ESPN is such a horrible fit. Like, these guys don't ESPN. I mean, we'll get into it as we go forward. The shit show they did on Sunday with the coverage of everything, but stuff like this shouldn't happen. You should know, you know what I mean? You should know who the players are.
I think you should know who the players are, but like, dude, who fucking cares? Like, I don't think
his whole family cared.
Okay,
it's just a stupid thing. There was no, but it was like the whole Jack Edwards thing with Pat Maroon. There's no need for it. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you can't say anything nowadays. So I agree with you with that one. I don't think there was any. I don't think he was like, I don't think he was like, oh, he's indigenous. I'm gonna say he's.
No, I don't think so either. But the fact is, there's no need to even make fun of someone's name. You don't know. You never know.
Do you remember Sticks and Stones? Remember growing up, Sticks and Stones would break my bones, words never hurt me. We just threw that one right out the door.
Because back in the day, you just get in a fist fight. It was no problem. Now you get in a fist fight.
Bring that the fuck back, dude.
And everyone you get arrested for assault. You got lawyers and yeah. Trust me, the worst thing I saw in my day was someone grabbed a hockey stick out of the trunk of their car in a fight. That was like the worst thing. And I remember the guy who did it, and I'm not going to mention his name on the podcast.
Are you friends with him still?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, he was on my side. He came to help us. So.
He was my best man. More Vegas. After eliminating Edmonton, they came up with the receipts on social media by listing every expert that picked against them, and then they followed up with Jordan and me, and I took that personally with their logo in place of Jordan's head.
It was great.
I also saw something where I don't know who it was, but he said, fuck around, they'll find out. And that was a shot at Evander Kane.
Yeah.
More Vegas head coach Bruce Cassidy is the first coach in NHL history to notch 50 win seasons and successive seasons with different franchises. And in the last game of the series, Jonathan Marchessault's natural hat trick was the first in franchise history.
Pretty big stage.
He's a rat of a player, dude. He goes. He's always beacon, but he's super skilled. Like,
yep.
Again, like, I take him on my team. I
would take him on my team, but if I had to pick a guy on Vegas that I don't like, it's him. And listen, you have to be a cocky asshole, right?
Yeah.
We just talked about that when Elliot was said. He will look off more skilled players to take his shot. It's like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? He does that a lot. No, yeah, you got to, right? Yeah.
That's when they said who looked off Crosby? Was it McDavid?
Was Bedard.
I thought it was McDavid.
No, McDavid said it about Bedard.
Yeah. I mean, built different. Dallas head coach Pete DeBoer is undefeated in Game 7s, going 7-0 in his career. He's also reached conference finals in 3 of his last 4 seasons with a new team, this year with Dallas and previously with Vegas and New Jersey. So, like, I hate the fucking guy, but, like, dude, the stats are backing up what he's bringing. Well,
I wonder with him, he has a system, and he goes into teams where he knows his system will work immediately. Right. And then I wonder if either people adjust to his system or the players tire of his message. But every interview you hear with him, he seems like a cool dude.
Yeah,
And he like cracks jokes behind the bench during that horrible, awkward interviews they have to do. You know,
I don't. It's not on here. Did you see they had Paul Maurice mic'd up? Did we talk about that last week?
No, I don't think so.
They had Paul Maurice mic'd up on the bench for Florida, and dude, I always kind of wondered what the coach is like behind the bench. Like, I guess in my mind, Gallant just wasn't really that vocal. I mean, I'm not there, so I don't really know, but I figured he just kind of stood there, called out lines. That Paul Maurice man is a funny motherfucker. You got to watch that. Just hyping everybody.
I did
up,
see it.
like,
I did see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
I think it depends on the coach, right? I don't think Sutter is cracking jokes behind the bench with the guys.
Yeah.
You know? But I believe that Montgomery, he's got a really good vibe with the players. I don't think Cassidy. I think Cassidy's like attaboy, that kind of thing. Yeah. I don't think Joe Quenneville's going to be like warm and fuzzy.
I thought it was fucking cool. I wish they would do that more.
Well, there's been some talk, like Marchand said it, like with all the microphones, it's not in the CBA, so there's a whole lot of murkiness there. Yeah. Like I don't. It might have been RA has said it for years. Like I would pay.
Oh, easily.
I would pay to listen. You know, and if they make it a pay thing and the players know about it and they're getting a piece of that revenue, but the problem is that the NHL is marketing all this like mic'd up stuff. And they're making money off it, and the league's making money off it, and the players aren't getting a taste, and it's actually the players. So that's the part that's not really kosher, you know?
Yeah, I get that.
So,
the Flyers have announced that Keith Jones has been named the president of hockey ops and named Daniel Briere to the position of general manager. The Flyers had announced that their search was narrowed to Jones and Eddie O, but no, Eddie O will continue to make our ears bleed on TV. This kind of sucks, dude, because I really like Keith Jones as an announcer. I think he's really good. He's one of the ones that is very kind of always down the middle. Like he, at least for me, I never think he's picking one side or the other. To me, he's always been kind of, he says it how it is. Seems like a cool dude to get a beer with.
Yeah, I think Keith Jones would be a great guy to hang out with. I think he'd be stories for days, and he's very knowledgeable, very personable.
Well, one thing he said is he said that he's really going to focus on a blue line. He said that he learned that under, I think he said David Poyle or something along those lines. Somebody taught him, he's like, you got to build from the blue line out. So head on a swivel with the Flyers coming up here because it seems like that's definitely
I have two for you. So first, Danny Heatley ripped someone apart as he always does on Twitter, who was like, this is ridiculous. He listed like all the different things Keith Jones has done in hockey. Mm-hmm. And he knows like if you back in my restaurant days, you want to be a good restaurant manager, you got to work every position in the building to understand what, and Keith Jones has done that. The thing with the Flyers, and I understand they're bringing back like the Bobby Clark, Hextall, Briere, Keith Jones. Maybe get someone who has a track record of success in hockey. And I'm not knocking Jones and Briere, but
put a lot of eggs in a basket where you don't really know where the basket's been.
Yeah, and listen, as much as I want Philly to be good, I don't want to be that good because it's still fucking Philly.
Yeah,
but it's like I don't know, whatever. What the fuck do I know, right? Where you and I are fucking talking to each other on a podcast. So, but I just feel like it's not. There's no proven track record, but you got to establish your track record somewhere. Yeah. But I feel like they must have AHL coaches that maybe. And Torts, the stupidest fucking article, Torts was like, oh, I'm excited to work with him. What's he fucking supposed to say when you stuff a microphone in his face? Yeah. What's he going to say? Oh, I think Keith Jones is a donkey and Briere's in over his head. He's never going to say. It's just so dumb. Like, I was mad at myself for clicking on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can you, when we do Heroes and Zeros, can you remind me of a mic'd up moment? Be like, had mic'd up moment. Zero mic'd up moment. Can you remind me of that?
I'm going to write it. See, this is when you make fun of me for having paper, but here I go.
Ottawa Senators. Ryan Reynolds is out on the Sens. The actor and his bidding partner of the Remington Group had bowed out of the bidding process by not making their bid available by the deadline. The group asked GSP, the New York-based bank running the process, to give them an exclusive window to negotiate with National Capital Commission and the City of Ottawa to get a deal in place for a new rink. The group was hoping for a 30-day exclusive negotiating window, but NHL officials got the sense that it didn't include a guarantee that they buy the team, so denied.
Yeah, it sounded like, if you read between the lines, that the Ryan Reynolds group was looking to purchase the land and the stadium and not the team so much. The team became like an ancillary, and the NHL was like, no. Listen, after listening to his interview, I want Snoop Dogg to win this.
Yeah, I think so too. I would have been cool with Ryan Reynolds, but now that he's out, I'd much rather have Snoop Dogg.
I'm gonna message him from all the TMS accounts and be like, "Hey man, come on the podcast."
It'd be pretty fucking cool. I bet he'll end up going. If they end up getting that, he'll go on hockey podcasts and shit. That'll be much to stuff. Star champion bloodlines. Joe Iginla, the youngest son of Hockey Hall of Fame Jerome, has been selected 12th overall by the Edmonton Oil Kings in the WHL draft. Schedule hasn't been released yet, but the Oil Kings will face off against the Seattle Thunderbirds at some point, where Joe will square off against his older brother, Tej?
I think so.
Sister Jade, however, is still getting it done at Brown University, where she just finished up her freshman year, earning ECAC Co-Rookie of the Year, as well as Team MVP awards. The four totaled 17 goals, 16 assists, and 23 points in 29 games played with 4 PIMs. Where did
all of them?
Jerome played for Kalamazoo, though, right? No. He played for the Wheat Kings.
Who? Jerome?
Yeah.
No, the Kamloops Blazers.
Kamloops Blazers. Okay, well, we're gonna have to get you his kid's bobblehead.
Oh my God! All of them lined up.
Have to.
I'm tempted just to go to a Brown game and be like, "Hi, I'm a big fan of your dad's."
You should. Why the fuck not?
Creepy.
That'd be kind of
Creepy.
Well, he'll probably be there.
I know. That's what I was thinking. Then it's very creepier.
Moms are the best. This is cool. Every year on May 13th, Joanne Bugard publishes an obituary for her son in the Regina paper. It's updated with news and personal items and how she can imagine what he's up to. Sad story. The boogeyman. One tough motherfucker.
And good on her for keeping his memory alive. It was really like, it gets you emotional when you read it, because she was like, you'd be a great uncle. You know, I can imagine you with kids. It's sad, but it's good. You know, memory alive.
All right, we're going to go to the playoffs. We're just going to give you some quick updates. I mean, we got the Final Four. Let's see here. So Florida beat Toronto in 5 games. They ended up winning in overtime in game 5.
Hold on, I'm getting my notes because I have some notes on my phone. All right, go ahead.
Matthews led the Leafs in goals with 5. Marner had 11 assists, 14 points. And then as we kind of cruise down here, Brandon Montour, 6 goals. Matty Tkachuk, 11 assists, 16 points. Bobrovsky with the .918 save percentage. They were fucked when they went down 3-0. They weren't going to battle back from that. No. I mean, I think there's only 3 teams in NHL history that have done that.
Yeah. Actually, one of them was Toronto a long time ago.
Yeah, and there's some interesting things that came from this.
So first off, the biggest one, that was not a goal.
The what one?
It was not a goal.
It was in. It was in the fucking net.
It was after the whistle. Listen, I watched that game and I heard the fucking whistle.
All right. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure refs can be like, it was. I think the refs can still call that a goal.
But the ref heard the whistle, and then you see everybody visibly relax.
It should have been a goal.
Wasn't.
It wasn't. It should have been. Very interesting player exit interviews. Sounds like Matthews wants to stay. Marner wants to stay. Riley wants to stay.
So
Dubas said, like, hey, listen, if they want me back, cool. If not, I'm not going to go jump ship immediately. It's got to be a decision between me and my family. He kind of grew on me with that because I think Dubas, I think he's a nerd, and I think he definitely was in over his head, but by all accounts, seems like a pretty good dude. Like, the fact that he was like beaking the Lightning fans, I thought that was hilarious.
We say this all the time. They're all probably like that was the thing. I got annoyed listening to that Jordan Martinook interview because I'm like, he seems like a good dude. Yeah. I want to not like him. And I'm sure these guys are all great guys. But we both talked about listening to the Charles Barkley interview. They said it. You got all these guys making 10 million plus. It's at what point do you got to do what's best for the team? Yeah. The whole Sidney Crosby thing. If I take less, we all make more.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be, everybody talks team. All the commercials from the NHL, there's no we, right? It's all we got to do. I mean, there's no I. It's all we.
I mean, you kind of nailed that, dude. If you think about it, they're all I.
Yeah. All of them.
Yeah.
And the other thing, like Marchand, the Bruins get eliminated. Marchand is crying on the ice. Yeah. Right? Bergeron, you could see the emotion. The Nate McKinnon thing from last year when he's like, I'm fucking tired of this. Right on, I think it was the major network, right? It was the conference finals. These guys are like,
yeah.
And I get it. Talking to media probably sucks, but fuck off. You're making millions of dollars. Here's the thing, right? You're working in marketing. I'm working in the trades. We're working as a postal carrier. You're working as a doctor. These guys are playing hockey. I understand you're working, but you're playing a fucking child's game for your job. Like Charles Barkley said in an interview, he never had to work a day in his life.
Yeah.
So you know what? Do the right fucking thing. Show some emotion. Take a little like you think if you go 8 years at 8 versus 8 years at 10, is that going to make a difference to your grandkids? No. So
and if you get everybody to do it, think about it. You're going to get another fucking $8 million player.
That was the whole Pittsburgh method with Crosby there, and the Bruins did it to a degree as well that no one was going to be paid more than Bergeron, and now Pastrnak. We'll see what happens.
I mean, Pastrnak does seem kind of like an I guy.
We'll see. Not as bad as these guys though.
Yeah, so that's
kind of the guy they're talking about moving. Right, the guy that everybody talks about how you can't move Matthews, you can't move Marner, you can't move Tavares. Everybody talks about Nylander. Nylander played the best.
Yeah, out of all of them for sure, 100%.
With his big giant head screening the goalie.
Matthew Tkachuk saying, "Hey, listen, like they kept saying we couldn't do it, and we ended up doing it. I don't hear anybody saying we want Florida now."
Great, fucking great.
I think
there's something too.
I think there's some magic in that team, dude. I think Matthew Tkachuk. We should start calling him Magic, dude. Like
Spoiler alert, they're going to be my suggestion at bandwagon. I'm all in on the Panthers.
Yeah. So, do you have anything else?
Not on that series. Nope.
All right. So moving on, Devils Hurricanes. I couldn't have been more right if I tried. I was wrong by one game. Sorry. The Devils are frauds. I told you this from fucking day one. You want to know how I knew that? Because the Rangers are the biggest frauds of them all. And the fact that you beat them and now you're walking around with Jack Hughes. Oh, he lost a tooth. He's really fucking cool. Where'd Jesper Bratt go? Where the fuck did that? Talk about playing yourself out of significant amount of money.
Unfortunately for him.
Bad. Here's the thing, though. I mean, Jack Hughes is a hell of a player. He's going to have a fucking really long, unreal career in the NHL. So if I'm the Devils fan, I'm happy about that.
I think the future's bright for the Devils for sure. Luke Hughes came in and didn't look out of place at all.
Dougie Hamilton, I think, has a decently long contract, and I don't think he performed that unreal in the playoffs. But I mean, at least you have a top two defenseman. I know he's weird, but at least you have a top two defenseman. Nico Hischier, I thought he played well. I think they might have lucked out because I don't think they've re-signed Timo Meier, right?
No, I don't think so.
And Timo Meier did not do shit in the playoffs.
No.
Not at all. Not what he was supposed to. Jesper Bratt didn't do shit in the playoffs.
No.
Our boy over at Cody at World Hockey Report, he brought it up. He's like, the Devils have three players, Hughes, Hischier, and Jesper Bratt, and they're all like 5'10", 170 pounds. You aren't going to win shit with that. Well, maybe you're right.
Well, Luke Hughes is like 6'3" and 170 pounds.
I mean, they got dominated start to finish. You knew that was. I knew that was going to happen. Like everybody was acting like the Rangers. Dude, the Rangers played like fucking dog shit. It's not like the Rangers were playing their best game and the Devils were.
Well, the Rangers. What the Rangers did is they had a lot of unforced turnovers, which the Devils.
They were terrible. What the Rangers did is they didn't have their fucking leaders come and play. They weren't pricks. They were little fucking soy boys. That's what the Rangers did. They didn't move their feet. They didn't get pucks deep. The one thing that I've noticed, and thank God the Rangers didn't move on, because they would have gotten so skull fucked this series by any of the teams that were in this series. What's this? The semifinals, Eastern Conference semis and Western Conference semis, because now it's going to be.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I thought you meant
the Rangers would have gotten bent over and reamed by any of those teams. Dude, I was watching that Kraken fucking Dallas game last night. Holy fuck, we would have been screwed. And I'm talking with a couple of my Rangers buddies. I'm like, thank God, because wouldn't it have been good?
Although you make the argument, though, if you get to that situation and you get lit the fuck up, maybe that brings across seismic changes in the organization.
We got fucking killed by the Devils. There better be seismic changes. I mean, Gerard Gallant's already gone. I bet you. I think there's going to be a fucking real big change on the horizon for the Rangers. Can I make a prediction? And this probably is not going to happen. But if I was the Rangers, this is something I would do.
Good.
I would bring in Ryan O'Reilly, and I wouldn't even think fucking twice about it. A centerman who can win faceoffs, who puts his fucking nutsack on the dude. That's who I would go out and get. A leader. A forward leader for your kids instead of Chris Kreider, Mika Zibanejad fucking making out with each other. What'd you say?
Where's O'Reilly from originally? Do you know?
He's from Canada. I bet he's going to end up going back to St. Louis. But that's the type of player that the Rangers need. They need a fucking leader. They need a forward who's a leader. They can't be watching. They can't go into the hotel the day before a game and watch Chris Kreider play the piano in the lobby. You're not going to fucking win anything with Chris Kreider playing the piano, jumping out of pools. You're not going to do it. Mika Zibanejad fucking crying, looking at pictures of him and crying. Fuck you, dude. And like, sorry, this is woo. This
So
is,
last night we're at beer league and all the guys are like, "Hey, what's up, sad boys?" And I'm like, "Oh, you guys listen, huh?" Well, rebound's out now too.
yeah. So, I mean, the Hurricanes played really well. They beat the Devils 5-1, 6-1, then they lost 8-4, and then they beat them 6-1 again, and then 3-2 in overtime. Yeah, I mean, they got skull fucked. And I'm not at all surprised by that at all.
Well,
My thing about Carolina, and this is
this is
why Carolina is not going to beat Florida. And this is going to sound crazy because Florida's goaltending has been shaky, but they keep putting Bobrovsky and he keeps figuring it out.
I don't
Carolina.
think it's been shaky.
Bobrovsky's
since Bobrovsky came in, he's been lights out, dude.
I know, but you trust him?
No, he's going to have a boob game instead of a Bob game, 100%.
Right? I think, but I would take Bobrovsky over either of the Carolina goalies. I think that in a landslide.
I agree.
Although I've been wrong about every goalie so far. So it could go a couple different ways. But I mean, I don't see Matthew Tkachuk is going to make Sebastian Aho's life a fucking living hell, dude. Like
that's what I was. Well, I mean, we'll get to this when we do the preview part, but if Jack Hughes got under Aho's skin,
yeah,
what is Matthew Tkachuk?
Matthew Tkachuk's going to drive him nuts.
Yeah, so, but the thing Carolina has going for it is all their defensemen are fucking gigantic,
and they move.
Yeah,
they move real well. Do you have anything else on the Devils and the Hurricanes? Sorry, Boother. Shout out to Boother who fucking blocked his ass off. Yeah. He willed the Devils to.
I would say that 8-4 Devils win was thanks to Boother.
I would say him putting out that blog when the Rangers were up 2-0 was thanks to Boother. But here's the thing: the Rangers were up 2-0, but they hadn't played good enough hockey. I think the Devils kind of needed to adjust to playoff hockey. I think it kind of took them a couple games where it's like okay, and then once they fucking figured it out, it was over.
Yeah.
But that's what I have for this one. You good with that one?
Yep.
All right, moving on. Stars. Kraken, unreal game 7, dude.
Unreal series.
Yeah, this Kraken team, man. They're a fucking team. They just come in waves over and over.
And everybody's bought in. Everyone on that top to bottom roster. You talk about following your leader.
Yeah.
Is Yanni Gourde not the best guy for that fucking
Yanni Gourde, and I would say Philip Grubauer to an extent.
Dude. Oh, yeah, the goalie, right, of course.
Kicked, man. He kicked his heart out. And then not to be out-dueled, I mean, Jake Onger played great. That Rope Hintz dude, man.
Hiskinen's playing like 30 minutes a game, right?
They're finished, and thank God they got the good fins.
Jamie Benn every once in a while.
Bill Pavelski will put in 4 goals, whatever. Tyler Sagan's still there.
Yeah.
They're doing it without Robertson scoring.
Huh?
They're doing it without Robertson scoring.
Yeah, I don't know if he's hurt. His game doesn't look right. But Sagan, talk about reinventing himself. He was such a flyweight like floater on the Bruins Cup team in 2011, and he has transformed himself into a 200-foot player. Could not be more happy for the kid. Well, not a kid anymore.
13 years ago, Brownie.
Yeah, I know. But there were games that he they scratched him for Sean Thornton because he was, you know what I mean, in that run. He would curl away from contact. He's a fucking beast now. Very glad to see him because you don't want to see someone with all that God-given talent just be a floater in the NHL. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He made himself into a very, very good player. And Seattle, back to Seattle, and talking about another kid, Ryan Donato. I saw more jam out of Ryan Donato in 7 games versus Dallas than I did his entire time on the Bruins roster.
See,
so good for him.
I still didn't even notice him.
But he's in there and he's mixing it up. He's playing third line minutes.
I think of him as like a poor man's Jimmy Vesey.
Yeah, but what did Jimmy Vesey do? He reinvented himself. And so you got to give kudos to Donato for doing the same thing.
I love Tanev. I can watch that guy fucking play hockey all the time.
Yeah, Jordan Eberle. Oh my gosh,
that guy just scores big goals. That was a really, really cool series. A series I don't think any of us really thought was going to be that sick ended up being really, really fucking cool.
That might have been. I mean, we'll talk about the next one, but I would say this is the second best series of the second round.
I also think the hockey gods remember shit, dude.
That's right, buddy.
And our last series.
Oh, and my old friend Colin Miller still getting it done for Dallas. Still
Killer.
out there. Yep.
The Golden Knights defeated the Edmonton Oilers 4-2. This series was crazy. There was
This, I think, was the best series of the second round, personally.
Yeah. I think in terms of storylines, yeah, but in terms of if storylines, yes, but in terms of just turning on hockey and watching hockey, I think I would have picked the Kraken Dallas series.
I agree with that statement. But I'm just saying, for us that know hockey and watch hockey, with
there's so much shit going on. Evander Kane, fucking like dude, Pietrangelo, Draisaitl, Darnell Nurse. I mean, they were.
And then every once in a while, McDavid was like, "Oh yeah, I'm better than everybody. Give me the puck."
Isn't it weird how it's the same song and dance every single year, and every single year the Oilers come out and they sign some fucking scrub goalie, and they're like, yeah, this is gonna be.
They signed him for 5 years.
Every fucking year, dude. This is what it comes down to. Like, I don't think you need to have a top goalie, but you need to stop putting in fucking bullpen catchers as your goalie. Like, you need to stop.
Well, they may have found something with Stuart Skinner going forward. You don't think so?
See you the fuck later, dude. Not a shot.
They
need a fucking goalie, dude.
Well, at this point, right?
UC Parros. Like, they need a fucking goalie.
We should have asked Kenton this today.
Bring back Mike Smith. Mike Smith would have had better success than those two fucking guys. And he would have been way more fun to watch.
Let me ask you about the coach.
I don't really know. I mean, he's coaching with what he has, dude. He has Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. I did see a point. Somebody said that like Eichel and Stone and those guys are playing 17, 18 minutes a night. And then you look at McDavid and Draisaitl and they're close to like 27. And it's
because he doesn't have anybody else.
And they're getting burnt out.
Or is it that he doesn't trust anybody else and he's just relying on his superstar?
I think that's more on the GM than it is the coach. Coach is playing the players that he needs to play to fucking win.
But all right, so the point that they were making was if you have Draisaitl and McDavid out there for 27, 28 minutes, your third line players are playing 6 or 8 minutes.
Yeah,
right?
Because they're stuck because the GM.
But are they stuck?
Yeah,
are they though? Because if you give them more minutes, are they going to perform? You know what I mean? It's
they're not. They're not because they're ball sacked. They're not good. That's what I think that's what it kind of comes down to. I think they have McDavid, Draisaitl. Then there's a huge. I mean, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins too. Obviously, Evander Kane, whatever. Like you have
points. Nugent this year.
Who?
Nugent-Hopkins had 100 points this year.
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, there's 4 out of the top.
I think like 15 or 18 were empty net goals. Remember?
Yeah, I mean, but still, it's 4 out of your top 6 players. Pretty fucking good. 4 out of your top 6, right? And then after that, who do you have? Yamamoto. Kyler Yamamoto's fucking striking fear into you, Brownie. That guy's a fucking liability and a half. And then the rest of them, they have just diving all over the place, dude. But like
they don't have what they don't have is they don't have those guys.
They don't have Ryan O'Reilly or a poor man's Ryan O'Reilly. Like they don't.
Zach Hyman played his fucking bag off.
Hyman up there too. So they're okay. So that's 5 out of your top 6 players.
Fogle, I thought Fogle had a good series. I'm looking at the roster to remind me now.
I think that there's a gigantic drop off from 4.
No, you're right. There is. What they don't have is they don't have like that third line, like that can go out and bang bodies and eat minutes and let them.
Have you noticed? Like, I feel like back in the day, your first 2 lines were like, okay, first line score, second line put the puck in the net, and then the third line was like, we're gonna put you guys out against the other team's best line, and then your fourth line was an energy line. Do we see that anywhere anymore? Like, do you know of a shutdown? The only shutdown player I can kind of think of would be like Jordan Staal on Carolina. That's a guy that you're going to put out against the other team's best forward. You're going to try to shut him down, and he's going to play his role. I mean, didn't you mention last week he was on Hughes had no points when he was on the ice or some shit like that? Why don't we see more of that? Like, why are all these teams like, every line needs to score?
It's hard work, and not everybody wants to do it, number one. Number two, you don't get signed for that. You get signed for scoring goals.
See, I
think it's what you're taught in juniors coming up. You're not taught to play like Jordan Staal or Patrice Bergeron or Crosby, the defensive side. It's not what you're taught to do.
And the Rangers are kind of fucked in that sense too, because their third line is kid line. Like you're going to tell your kids to go out there and fucking back check.
I think Lafreniere has that in him. I think I saw that in him the games I watched. I thought he was a motherfucker on the back check some nights.
I would not be shocked if one of Lafreniere Capo isn't a Ranger come next season.
And yet again, somehow in this series, you brought it back to the Rangers.
Well, I'm talking about that third line, dude. Like,
Well,
that
all right.
third
So look
line-
at Seattle. Look at Seattle. Matty Beniers.
Okay,
Rookie.
well, is he their third line or second line?
No, but he backchecks like a motherfucker. He plays all 400 feet. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So there are young players that do it. It's just, I think it's in the right environment. And McDavid is a beast on the back check too. So Draisaitl kills penalties. So maybe it's the GM. Maybe, you know.
I just don't know why teams aren't constructed that way anymore. That's
Well, McDavid and Draisaitl are both making over 10 million, aren't they?
No, I get that. I just where's the third line loving in the NHL?
Well, there's not, if you all your money is made up in the top 6, you don't have money for the other stuff. And Nurse, I mean, listen, I like Nurse's game, but he's making $9 million.
Oh, yeah.
You know, is he a $9 million?
I think his contract's right up there with Trouba's in terms of like,
Yeah.
At least Trouba will fucking kill somebody.
But Nurse will, but he got suspended for it.
That's kind of what we have. Do you have anything else here? I mean, Jack Eichel, 6 goals, 8 assists, 14 points. He leads Vegas. Aiden Hill, 934 save percentage, coming out of nowhere. Draisaitl, 13 goals. McDavid had 20 points. I mean, they're performing.
Yeah, but Draisaitl didn't do anything the last 2.
No. I mean, do you remember early in the playoffs, it was like the last 14 goals that were scored by Edmonton, Draisaitl was on the ice or some fucking crazy.
Well, you could say that the reason he got shut down was Mark Stone's feeling good, too.
Yeah.
You talk about another guy.
Shutdown guy. Yeah.
But you have to embrace that role. It's fucking hard work, man. Defense is harder than offense.
Yeah, but
I mean, you go to every fucking beer league game across the United States and Canada. Everybody busts ass up the ice. Not everybody busts ass back.
See, if I was on the Leafs, I would have been like Ryan O'Reilly. That's what you're doing. You're shutting down the other team. But they had him kind of in like a goal scoring, like
because no one else was scoring. The core 4 didn't do dick.
It's on those guys.
Yeah, it's 100% on those guys.
All right, so that's what we have for the series.
Yeah,
we're just gonna make our predictions right now.
Sure. Let me get a blank piece of paper. All right.
Oh boy.
So we got Vegas and Dallas.
Yeah.
And we got Florida and Carolina.
Okay.
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
Florida in 6.
Okay. I'm saying Florida in 7, just because I think this one's going to be. I think this series is going to be fucking awesome. Yeah. I really do.
It's going to be fun to fucking watch. And then the other one. So I had Dallas all day in my head. So I'm like, I keep picking against them. They keep winning until we talked about it. And we talked about that, how if you're a fan of a team who's going to a game 7, you should probably be at home on the couch.
So you're going Vegas because of Fink?
I'm going Vegas specifically because of Fink.
How many games?
Either 5 or 6. You surprise me.
I'll say 6.
All right.
So I'm going Vegas in 7. And the reason I'm saying 7 is because I think there's going to be at least one game that Pavelski takes over. And I believe that Jamie Benn is going to motherfuck everybody in that locker room for another game. So that's going to push the series a little longer. And I think Jake Ottinger is a difference maker. But here's the thing that I can't get out of my head in terms of Vegas. One, I think these are 2 great coaches, right? But I think Cassidy and the players, not Cassidy, more the players are going to want to stick it to DeBoer a little bit on Vegas. Number 2, I think that Vegas just shut down 2 of the top 5 players in the NHL.
Yeah.
The Dallas Stars are not top 5 players in the NHL. So that's why I got Vegas.
I think they got one who's up there. At least in the playoffs. That Roope
Hintz, but he's one guy.
He's one guy.
And I think that Vegas's defense is significantly better than Seattle's.
Yeah.
So there you go. If you know.
No, I'll give you that.
So that's my prediction. Fink, it's got nothing to do with you. I was still disappointed in you, but I got nothing.
Fink, mine has everything to do with you. You made this happen. All right. So that's kind of what we have for that. As we kind of scroll down here a little bit, let's just see what we got. We already did all that shit. Semifinals, we kind of went over that. All right, so it's time to dump and change.
Go, buddy. All right, so the San Diego Padres released a dog calendar to raise funds for an animal rescue, which featured players posing with their dogs. except for the month of August, which shows outfielder Juan Soto at a local pet store posing in front of fish tanks as he has severe pet allergies, which I think is just hilarious. Instead of saying, I don't want to do it, he went to the pet store. It was great.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Ryan Reynolds as an owner. Could he be one of the best owners in sports? I don't know if you saw this story. So the Wrexham Football Club that he owns with Rob McElhenney, they won promotion, or they attained promotion, and they were treated to the standard parade and the rally and all that shit. But then Reynolds and McElhenney flew the entire team to Vegas for 4 days with a fully planned itinerary and the instructions to leave your credit cards home all 4 days on the owners.
So fucking sick, dude.
That is pretty sick, you know?
Yeah.
And then I don't even know if you know this was going on. The Arlington Renegades are your 2023 XFL champs, where they beat the DC Defenders. I would talk about it more, but we've tried to get the Rock's Energy Company to advertise on the podcast, and he will not. So that's all you get.
I could not care any less about that.
No, I know.
Are there people in the world that care about that?
Yeah, there's a pretty good amount of people go to games.
That's wild to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boston Celtic Jason Tatum recorded 51 points in Game 7 versus the Philadelphia 76ers, which was the most in NBA history, as he and his middle school buddy are having a pretty good spring. You know who he went to middle school with?
Matty Tkachuk.
The worst owner in sports? Longtime Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder is finally out. The allegations against him over the years would be comical if not true. He invited donors to watch the cheerleaders' photo shoots, unbeknownst to the cheerleaders. The stadium at one point was spewing raw sewage on the fans, and then hostile work environment in the offices. All of this allegedly. The team has been sold to a group headlined by Josh Harris, who is the co-owner of the 76ers and the Devils, for $6.05 billion with a B, and includes the stadium and the team's practice facilities. Magic Johnson is part of the group. Cool. So, listen, longtime Washington fans, my buddy Jimmy, JR, he's been a long-suffering fan of the Washington Commanders, back to when they were the Redskins. Today is Wee Man, Jason Acuna. Today is his birthday. He turns 50 today. Happy birthday, buddy. This was a great story. Indianapolis Colts rookie Anthony Richardson is turning heads for his off-the-field character in a good way. The quarterback was at the rookie orientation program last week, and when the rest of his fellow rookies took off after dinner, he stayed behind and was cleaning up before hotel staff got started cleaning in the ballroom. Troy Vincent, the executive vice president of the NFL, approached Richardson and told him he didn't need to clean up, and Richardson replied, "We left this room in unacceptable condition, and it's not right for us to expect the staff to clean it all up." Vincent told Richardson he could take off, and the young cute quarterback replied, "No, it's all right. I'd like to stay and help." And he did until the room was cleaned up entirely. And he was the last person working along with the workers on the shift. Happy Mother's Day, Mrs. Richardson. You raised a good kid.
I wish that the story didn't come out right now and we heard about it a few years from now by somebody who was one of his teammates. Yeah, I have a really cool story about him.
I can see what you're saying.
Way too much. You think this kid said we left this room in an unacceptable condition?
You think? Yeah, maybe. Well, listen, I'll take a story like this over.
No, it's still really cool, but I think it would have been cooler if we heard about this 3 years from now. I
agree with you. That's fair. But it seems. Look at what's the basketball guy who can't stop flashing guns everywhere? This idiot. I mean, so I'd much rather hear this story. Yeah. And lastly, Shooter McGavin, Christopher McDonald is the actor. He's come up with a counter to the Live Tour, the Saudi Golf League. This is called. I forget what he called it. This is the rules, though, that he suggested. No dress code. Alcohol can be consumed during play. Fans can make noise at all times. Any out-of-bounds shots results in the loss of one club. Double bogeys or worse results in the golfer having a shotgun of beer, and John Daly is the commissioner. I would go watch that.
I think it'd be pretty cool. The making noise at all times would be fucking so annoying, but I think it's kind of neat.
Well, I think that would be for the first week of it, and then it would be the end. You know what I mean? So there you go.
I don't really have any Rangers. They're dead to me. What do you have for the Bees?
My Bruin stuff is nothing on ice. Zdeno Chara, after he did the marathon in April, he took on the Ultra Wahupa Trail 50K race, and he completed it.
Somebody's got to tell that guy just to chill the fuck out, dude.
Do you know what he used to, I'm looking up. I should have done this before to see what 50 kilometers translates to.
It's 10 times a 5K. So it's 10 times, like, was it 3.2 miles?
50 kilometer to miles. 31.069.
That's pretty good by me.
Pretty good. So he used to train in the summers. He would go ride the Tour de France, the course. He would go ride that. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Imagine how big his bike was. Johnny Busick, a long-time Bruin with the organization, almost 66 years. So apparently he's done everything. Played, coach, scout, travel, manager, all that. So the only thing he hadn't done was he didn't clean the ice on a Zamboni. So they gave Chief the chance last week ahead of his 88th birthday. They spun him around on the Zamboni and let him drive. So good on him.
Good on you.
So and then Northeastern, Meg Carter, we talked about her name and captain, said it was one of my greatest honors and privileges to be recognized by my teammates, coaches, and support staff. Leader of our team alongside Noel Phillips and Marone. I look back on the great leadership that has come through this program, and Alina, Brooke Hobson, Paige Capistran, Brittany Bolgowski, Kendall Coyne Schofield, and more, and I'll strive to carry on the culture they have built over the years. I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity and couldn't be more proud to represent this amazing group. She's going to be great. She made Team Canada. I had an awkward conversation with her dad in the bathroom. Yeah, it's going to be great. Gwyneth Phillips, goalie Gwyneth Phillips, earned an invite to the USA Hockey National Goaltending Camp. You think? You know, I mean, like, geez.
Somewhere that fucking donkey's like, she should have been involved.
Yeah. Nicole Haas, whatever her name is. So this story made me so happy. So reunited, and it feels so good. Alina Mueller and Chloe O'Rourke, friends of the podcast, are staying in Boston. The international stars have each signed on with the Boston Pride on the PHF on one-year deals. They joined Lauren Kelly and McKenna Brand as former Huskies on the squad. From Alina, Boston is my second home. After 5 years as a Husky, I was not ready to leave yet. I cannot wait to start my professional career playing for the Pride. Super excited to represent Boston alongside some of the best players in the world and help the organization win more championships. I'm very proud that I can make my dream a reality. None of this would be possible without the people behind me, especially my family. Go Pride. And then Chloe, Northeastern has been my home in Boston for the past 5 years, and I am not ready to leave just yet. I don't see myself anywhere else right now. But this city, I'm very excited to be a part of the Boston Pride organization, and I can't wait to get started. Said O'Rourke, I would like to thank my family and friends who have supported me throughout my entire hockey career and helped me achieve my dreams. On a personal note, so I came home when I saw the news about Alina. I told my daughter, I go, hey, Alina's not leaving. She signed with the Boston Pride. Then I explained what the Pride was and showed the logo and everything. And she's like, can we go to some games? And I'm like, sure, we can go to a game. Absolutely. The very next day, Chloe's news came out. So I came home and I go, oh my gosh, Chloe signed with the Pride too. And Riley goes, can we go to all the games? And I'm like, so I messaged both of them and let them know, like, congrats. And then the second day is when I told Chloe, I'm like, my daughter says, now we got to go to all the games. And they both were so gracious. Like, can't wait to see you at the games. We'll make sure to say hi to your daughter. They're such good kids. And when we posted this on our Twitter for the morning skate, the head coach of the Pride gave it a like and everything. So I think we should reach out. Paul Mara, if you're listening, you're former Ranger, former Bruin.
Oh, no shit, dude. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Love to have him on the podcast.
Dude,
talk about your playing career. Talk about
tough son of a bitch.
Yeah. Talk about his playing career. Talk about transitioning to coaching the women's game. I think it'd be interesting. I'm gonna try to reach out to him.
That's a good idea, Brownie.
Yeah. So there you go.
All right. That's what we have there. Beer League Roundup. All right, hockey's over for me.
You're done with beer league.
Just a lot of fucking softball.
I think you should be able to talk about your softball and beer league.
Yeah, I mean, dude, fucking got a fucking sore arm playing in the tournament coming up this week. Man, I'm getting fucking old.
Shortstop? Playing shortstop?
Today I played first because I can't throw a ball. Like, I literally physically can't throw a ball. So I'm hoping by the weekend I feel better. I wish I had some heat to put on there. Maybe I should turn on a.
Well, I was going to talk about beer league. We had some fans in the rink last night, and they look kind of cold.
They look kind of cold. Maybe we got to hit them with some of that heated core.
So when you're at the rink or at the softball field with a little chill in the air, there's a product called Heated Core, heatedcore.com. With a promo code Morning Skate 15. You can see it right up above us there. Yeah. We are the presenting sponsor of the Morning Skate. It's a heated base layer system. very light, slim. It's not slimming, it's slim. And because it's a base layer and it's next to your skin, it's almost instantaneous heat. And the battery pack for this lasts up to 6 hours. And I don't know if we mentioned this before in reviewing my notes. Do you know you can also charge up your phone off the battery just in case?
Oh, that's kind of nice. Dude, this is like perfect for hunting. Obviously for hockey too, but when it's
Hunting,
fucking cold as shit,
fly
ice
fishing,
fishing, dude.
yeah,
Fuck
anything. And because it's a base layer, I think we said that it heats up almost instantaneously. And with carbon fiber heating elements, it heats quickly and it's extra durable. Hashtag outlast your adventure. Go on heatedcore.com. Use our Morningscape. Yeah, use our promo code Morningscape15 to save yourself 15%.
15% on what?
On what? Heated core. So yeah, I said it right. I said it. So last night I had a beer league game and we walloped them, but I think it was like 6 or 7-0. We put, I think the final number was like 57 shots on this kid. He was a very good goalie. Yeah. Very good goalie, but I got the GWG myself there.
In a 13-1 game. Congratulations.
It was a shutout, and I was blocking shot. I was laying out once I realized I was like, wait a minute, I have the game-winning goal. Yeah, and it was funny. I was playing D, and we came off with like a minute and 20 left or something. And Mark Harris, shout out Harris, he was coming on, and the last thing I said to him, I go, hey, don't fuck this up. I got the game-winning goal. He's skating out laughing. He's like, motherfucker. Yeah, it was fun. Good night.
All right. That's a little beer league. And then we got 2 more segments. We're going to do our heroes and zeros. Videos are so fucking funny.
Oh, so stupid. You're mic'd up. I was supposed to tell you.
Okay, yeah, my zero of the week. Did you see this? It was a Red Sox Cardinals game, Sunday Night Baseball. It's when the ESPN didn't show hockey. They were playing this game.
Meaningless game.
I think pretty sure it was the Red Sox first baseman. Whoever was announcing the game goes, yeah, so we know that your mother passed away when you were a kid. How does that affected you, with Mother's Day? Straight up asked him that.
Was he playing live?
Yeah, playing first base.
Oh my God.
It was the most.
Is it ESPN or was it the local guy?
It's ESPN. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. I wish he motherfucked this guy. I wish he was like, who the fuck do you think you are? And just took the mic off and slammed it down. I couldn't believe it.
The thing is, right? If the player had done that, which everyone would have been able to understand.
Oh,
right?
It would have been an all-time moment in sports history.
But what I'm saying is, if the player did that, which I think he would have been well within his right, if he was like, what kind of fucking dumb question was that? He would have gotten in trouble. But this announcer is not going to get in trouble at all.
I don't know, dude. That was the dumbest fucking thing. It was something, I'm paraphrasing, but it was something along those lines. It's like, what other women have been in your life to I was just like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? I would have lost my shit.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's my zero of the week. Hero of the week. I'm going to get into it when we get into our 3 stars. So that's kind of
it. I have 2 zeros, which is unusual for me. I'm going to do the long one first. So my is right along with your Sunday night. This NHL scheduling nonsense. Are you fucking kidding me? So you have Connor McDavid, the best player in the NHL, and it's an elimination game. And you're starting it at 10 p.m. East Coast time because you don't want to conflict with basketball or this ridiculous fucking baseball game. Put it on ESPN2. Start it at fucking 4 o'clock. Start at 5 o'clock East Coast, a 1 o'clock puck drop out in Edmonton. It could have been handled so much better. So the first 3 goals weren't shown because it was over on ESPN2. I went over to ESPN2, but what the fuck? It's just such, again, I don't know how many times, make it easier for us to watch fucking games, not harder. So there you go with that. And then my other one, do you remember a while back we talked about Arizona iced tea?
Yeah.
And the guy was like, listen, he goes, I'm not going to raise the prices. 99 cents, whatever. Remember, he made a stand. He was my hero of the week. Well, I've noticed this trend here in Eastern Massachusetts. These fucking convenience stores. And listen, the guy who owns the store at the end of my road, great family, nice people, but fuck you too. Because I went in there, I like to drink an Arizona iced tea. I like the fruit punch and I like the mango tango. Those are the two I like.
Fuck you too, pal.
Yeah. Those are the two flavors I like. I like to drink those on the way to hockey and then beers afterwards. My thing. Right? So I go in, I'll grab a 6-pack or a 12-pack if it's my turn to get beer, whatever.
Yeah.
This is the third store I've noticed this in. There's a fucking price tag on it. And instead of 99 cents, it's like $1.29. And it's not the fucking, listen, 30 cents isn't going to make or break me, but it's the principle of it. It's on the fucking can. It says 99 cents.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you.
Have you called them out on it yet?
No, because it's just some kid working. If I see the owner working, I'll be like, hey, what the fuck, bro? I'll fucking flat out. Because I know him. I'll flat out say he actually, oh, you know what? He fucking listens. Because he said something to me about the podcast last time I saw him. So, hey, you know who you are. I'm not going to say your name, so I don't want to get you sore in trouble. But
you know who you are, and I'm watching you.
You know who you are. Take those fucking price tags off. It's 99 cents. God damn it. Raise the fucking other stuff. So, there you go.
All right.
Oh, my hero. Sorry. I got all wound up in that. So, there's this kid, 11-year-old Davion Johnson, had himself a fucking day. So during the day at school, 11 years old. So if Riley is 6, 5, so he's like a 4th or 5th grader, I think.
No, 6th.
All right.
You're 5 years old when you start kindergarten.
Okay. So he's 11-year-old. So whatever. He's between 4th grade and 7th grade. Let's say that.
Sure.
During the day at school, he saw a friend choking and he hit him with the Heimlich and saved the kid's life.
Gotcha.
On his way home from school, wandering home, he sees a house fire and ran in and pulled a woman to safety. You're making a face? You don't believe this is true?
11-year-old pulling a woman out of a burning building?
Yeah.
Well, how big are 11-year-olds?
How big or 11? I don't know. He looked pretty big. And he was a big kid.
All right.
So this was an AP news story. So it was legit.
You don't trust the media.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Good on you.
I saw it on Newsmax. It must be true.
Good on you, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. My hero.
All right. 3 stars.
So stupid.
It's so funny.
So
all right. So starting Friday, I'm going to have some pretty big changes going on in my life. And I'm really excited about it. New chapter. What?
It's the summer of Ked.
The summer of Ked. I could not be more thrilled. I don't really want to get completely into it, but completely new chapter in my life. Super pumped up about it. So we're talking 3 stars, and I'm like, okay, well, what should we do? And it's almost like, okay, why don't we come out with our summer goals? What are some things this summer that we want to accomplish? Whatever it might be. I have a honorable mention.
Go ahead.
My honorable mention is to save money and to eliminate unnecessary purchases, whether it's a Red Bull or like protein bars. Like I literally only want to spend money on groceries and that's it. So that's like my honorable mention. I think
you want to see my honorable mention?
What?
Hold on.
Oh boy. You got to. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I want to get him on the podcast.
That's a good honorable mention. Jerome McGinley. And that actually brings me into my 3rd star. I want to book interviews. I want to go off this summer and really fucking focus on some morning skate stuff. Try to bring some more interviews to you guys, whether it be hockey businesses, ex-players, whatever it is. I mean, we're crushing it on social right now, and the podcast.
I got a couple of feelers out there right now.
Yeah, so everything's going pretty good with that. So I think my 3rd star. Wait, is that my 3rd star? Yeah, my 3rd star is I want to book some interviews.
Okay, my 3rd star. I need to get in better shape.
Okay,
it's my 3rd star. I'm inspired by you. We've been talking about a TMS tourney. I got to show up ready to go. You know, the better in shape I am, the easier it's going to be on the knees. So I would like to come back to the team I play for and just wheel around these guys. And they'd be like, God damn it. I think that'd be fun.
I'm glad you said that because my 2nd star is to get ripped.
There you go.
I've dropped a shit ton of weight since November. I'm definitely stronger than where I'm at, but the whole getting ripped comes from diet. And that kind of plays into like the eliminating unnecessary things. But like I might only drink twice a month this summer. and just really pick my spots on whatever days I'm going to.
Yeah, why don't you say, let's try to go for twice a week?
No,
You
that's
got to make realistic goals, dude.
twice. These are realistic goals. Twice a week's way
twice a month. You're
Yeah.
gonna drink.
Yes, like 2 Saturdays a month or a Friday and Saturday. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, all right.
But I think that's kind of like getting ripped. So
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing. I think I definitely built the foundation. Now I just got to fucking get right after it, dude. Back to the kitchen, man. So that would be my second one.
My number 2 star, and I have my eye on it. I know exactly where it is. I'm just maneuvering to get it landed and locked in. Box truck.
Yep, I know you've been talking about that.
Been talking about this box truck. We are making some progress. We are deep in negotiations. There was talk about really coming to brass tacks with a handle of Tito's and a gallon of cranberry juice in the garage, is what he said. He goes, we could just sit in the garage and talk about it. I'm like, dude, all right, because we're trying to negotiate, like me doing some work on his garage in exchange for the box truck once he does some stuff and gets it working. So we're circling it. And I have so much work booked between now and Thanksgiving that my wife's going to be like, you can fucking buy 2 box trucks once I start giving her envelopes. So
nothing wrong with that, man.
Yeah. So
I hope that'll happen. I'm going to keep all the thoughts to the box truck. And then my number 1 is I want to do at least one thing a week that makes me genuinely happy. So here's a couple things.
Oh, that's good.
Go on a long rollerblade. Toss some lines, go fishing, have a bonfire with people over. Just once a week, something that I'm going to like look forward to be like, fuck, I'm going to do that. So,
but not only look forward to, but you also don't discount the spontaneous,
right?
Like something fun. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's great to have that, but what I'm saying is how to say this? Don't turn down a good time.
No, 100%. But
you know what I mean?
You know how, I don't know if you're like this, but like during the winter, I was kind of a hermit. Like I didn't really go out. I stayed in, I worked out, I did whatever I did. Summer's hard because everybody likes to be outside, all this shit. I just need to dial that back because the last 2 weekends I've gone out every single night and I can't do that. Can't do it. Bad choices, doing stupid shit. Like I can't do it. So that's I'm back focusing on becoming the best version of myself.
So, I like that, buddy.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's all good. It's gonna be a fucking good summer. By the end of the summer, I'm gonna be fucking looking bad, dude. I can't wait.
So my number 1 star is I want to take my daughter camping, fishing, canoeing.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Because she kind of can swim. So I told her she can't go in the canoe, which I need to replace the seats.
Dude, I also can kind of swim too. I'm not a good swimmer.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
That should be one of your stars for this summer. You need to fucking learn how to swim.
I can go underwater without plug my nose now, which is like a big thing. Yeah. Remember last week when you thought I was really tough and I was beating people up and being like a super cool coach? I had to learn how to go underwater without plugging my nose by waterboarding myself in the shower last year. So it's a little bit fucking different, bro. So how would you date a swimmer and she's
so if you would like, maybe I can have Riley do instructional videos for Uncle Jimmy, and you both can get floaties.
We both go to swimming lessons. The same fucking teacher,
like that Seinfeld with Kramer. He's like, we're all the same level. So anyway, she wants to go in the canoe, which I got a sweet deal in the canoe, but I got to replace the seats. And I told her she needs to learn how to swim. So swimming lessons don't start till school's over. So that's a little bit of a conundrum. But she wants to go camping. She wants to go fishing, and I'm fighting every instinct to be like, oh, you want to fish and camp? Well, then we won't bring food. But I don't want to be that guy, like we got to catch fish to eat. Yeah. So I'm not going to do that because my wife probably will frown on that. But I want to take her camping fishing.
Could you do that? Could you go? Could you just live off the land?
I don't know for how long. Like, I don't like there's shows like Alone, like they go up to Alaska. I think I could do it. I would need a little bit of training, like in order
for a weekend. If I just dropped you off in the middle of the fucking woods, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I've come to pick you up Sunday. Would you be alive?
Do I have anything with me at all?
You have what you have on you right now.
I'm sitting here in my underwear. So.
And a fishing pole.
Yeah, if I had like a fishing rod and like some type of like Leatherman, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's this show Alone, which is awesome, and you should definitely check it out. They drop people off in the Canadian wilderness, but I don't have the knowledge of like what plants to eat and stuff like that. If I had that base of knowledge, which is pretty easy to do,
yeah,
I could make the fires and do all that stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah. So,
all right, guys. Well, those are our goals. We're gonna crush that shit. That's the plan, man. So, that is this week's podcast. Brandon, do you have anything else for the people at home?
No, just remember Heated Core and heatedcore.com, Morning Skate 15. Yeah, just we're closing in on the summer, and it's mid-May, a couple of months away from the big guy's birthday. July 1st, I believe, is Jerome McGinley's birthday. So in case I forget, happy early birthday, Jerome. God bless you wherever you are, you big, beautiful bastard.
Big, beautiful bastard.
This is my wife was like, "Are you going to wear that hat?" I go, "No, I'm just going to wear it for the podcast and hang it up. I don't think I'll ever wear it again."
Well, shout out to Jerome McGinley. Shout out to everybody who listens. We really appreciate it. Make sure you follow us on all of our socials. Check out our YouTube channel. Subscribe to that bitch. And the guy at the gas station, fucking figure out your Arizona iced tea prices, because it's ludicrous.
It's a convenience store. The guy at the gas station, Nick's fucking aces. It's a guy across the street.
It's the guy across the street, and you want to know what? Brownie is a gentleman. He's a gentleman and a scholar, not to sewer your name on this podcast. So
yeah,
good on you, Brownie. Good on you.
Yeah, I got my eye on him.
All right, so we will talk to you guys next week. Take it easy.
Yep.